Hi, and thanks for joining me again. My name is Jamie Flowers. Hopefully you have watched the other 3 videos on sugar, salt, and fat. This last video really brings it all together. It's how do I take that information and really use it to create a balanced diet day in and day out. So there are 3 components that you really need to focus on when you're talking about a balanced diet. A couple of them we've already talked about: fiber, fat, and a new one, protein. I'm gonna pull this up here. So I call this the protein, fat, and fiber, PFF for short. So when you talk about fiber, which we did, stabilizes blood sugar, naturally found in natural carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, things like that. Really need it for energy. Healthy fats, our cells need them for repair. Our brain needs them to function. They're very anti-inflammatory. And then the last one, which we haven't gotten into yet, is protein. So protein comes from sources like, or good protein comes from sources like lean meats, dairy, beans, tofu, lentils, whole grains, nuts. Protein is found in so many different foods, and it's really an important component when you're talking about a balanced diet, because protein helps us repair, build, and it really works the same way as fiber in slowing down the absorption of sugar. So it's a really great way to stabilize blood sugar. So combining those 3 things, protein, fat, and fiber, into meals creates this lasting fullness and lasting energy that our brains need and our bodies need. So we're gonna demonstrate that here with our very first recipe. So this first recipe is called apple snack stacks. Kids go crazy for this, okay? So there's 4 components to this, or excuse me, 5 components to this recipe. We have some cream cheese, raisins, sun butter. If you can use nuts, peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter, any of those works. This one is nut-free, made out of sunflower seeds. And I have a little bit of granola. If you don't have granola, you can use crushed up cereal. Works fine. And then I have just apple slices. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of the butter, the nut butter, whatever butter you got here, and I'm gonna stick the granola right on top of it, and I'm gonna set that down. Now on the second one, I'm gonna take a little bit of this cream cheese, and it's good to leave it out for just a little bit so that it spreads. Otherwise it's too cold. And on this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these raisins, and I'm gonna pop these little raisins in this guy. Now I'm gonna stack them. So I'm gonna take our first one, and because the nut butter is sticky and the cream cheese is sticky, they stick together pretty nicely. Then I'm gonna take this last piece that's got nothing, and I'm gonna stack it up on top. And if I can pick this up right, you're gonna see I've made an apple snack stack sandwich. Kids love them. You can eat them all together like this. If you can manage it, take it apart. Switch it up, put the nut butter and the raisins together, the cream cheese and the granola together, entirely up to you. Great after school snack for the kids. Plus they can do it themselves, which makes it even better. So another thing I really wanted to talk about was processed foods versus whole foods. And when you're talking about a balanced diet, it's really what substitutions can I make to get some of those processed foods out and get more into a whole foods diet? And why is that important? So processed foods are made in a way, and we talked about this before, that they can be shelf stable. And the way that that happens is everything that's living or was living in some of those ingredients is really removed, and it's added back in a lot of chemicals, a lot of preservatives, sugar, salt. We've gone through this. I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat a lot of dead food, okay? So the 2 biggest complaints that I see or I hear from people about whole foods diet and really switching to more of not shelf stable food is that 1, it takes more planning and more time, and 2, produce goes bad. True. We're going to take both of those and turn them into positives. So the first one, yes, does it take more time and energy to cut something up, cook it, make it, and throw it in the microwave? Yes, of course it does. Okay, but turn that into a positive. Make it more of a family affair. Let kids help. Get in there, get your hands on it. You know, use the time that you're cutting and cooking and putting a meal together to engage your senses. Smell the food, feel the food, imagine what it's going to taste like. It really contributes to the digestive process when you have that connection to your food. And it starts the digestive process. Your body knows, oh, I smell something good, or, oh, look at these colors, look at this food that I'm making. I'm just picturing or imagining what it's going to taste like, and it starts that digestive process for you, as opposed to the ding of the microwave, which doesn't start the digestive process for you. So, number 2, does produce go bad? It does. So we talked about shelf-stable stuff, and yes, it's so convenient, right? It's always there, it's never going bad, you don't have to think about it. But I'm a living being, you're a living being, and I think we should really expect that much from our food. I don't want to eat a bunch of dead food. I want my living body to take in living nutrients. So you have to give your body ingredients that it recognizes, in forms that it recognizes, and it recognizes live food. So if you are having problems, keeping fruits and vegetables, they're going bad, whatever, a couple of things you can do. One, frozen. Frozen fruits and vegetables is a fantastic way to always have them on hand and really make sure that they're not going bad. Canned, same thing. And something that I like to do is when my produce starts to go bad, I use my blender. The blender doesn't care if there's brown spots or anything like that. And I put it in my blender and I blend it up, and I have this great, nutritious, fiber-filled vegetable fruit drink. Bananas going bad, as mine are right now. You make banana bread. So there's things that you can do in forms of fruits and vegetables that you can cook with that it doesn't really matter if they don't look perfect, okay? The other reason, processed versus whole. One of my favorite reasons is the calorie density. So when nature made food, it did it with a whole lot of nutrients and very little calories. When man made food, it did it with a whole lot of calories and very little nutrients. So as a comparison, I could eat an entire head of cauliflower, this big, or I could eat 2 Oreo double stuffed cookies. Same amount of calories. But the nutrients I'm getting from this head of cauliflower and the fiber that I'm getting, the Oreos don't even come close. Not even close. So something to really think about, you eat more food when it is nature made because the calories are lower. It's the way our bodies were supposed to do. Lots of nutrition, not so many calories. The last part, and I think the most important part, is color. Nature made food in every single color of the rainbow, and probably more. They're amazing, and really, when you think about these colors, yes, they're beautiful, whatever, they're there for a purpose. So when plants have these colors on them, they protect the plant. They are the antioxidants of the plant. When we eat them, they become antioxidants for us. So these colors have a fancy dancy name. They're called phytonutrients. Now, phyto in Greek means color. So they're colored nutrients. So phytonutrients are a type of antioxidant, and we need antioxidants every day to repair ourselves and our cells. So all of these colors have a purpose. So when you think about processed foods, and if you really think about not the packaging, not the artificial color, but the actual color, if you were to open up all those aisles of processed foods and just put them on the shelves without the packaging, they're all kind of tan. Like, there's no color to them because the life has been taken out of them. That's why marketers put in artificial colors. That's why the boxes are so colorful, because they're trying to trick your brain into thinking this is something that you should be eating, because we are drawn to these colors in nature because our bodies know how good they are for us. Excuse me. So what we're going to make here for our second recipe is going to fully demonstrate color. So what we're going to make is a panzanella salad. If you've never made a panzanella salad, you take some couple-day-old bread. Mine wasn't quite that old, so I toasted it, so it's nice and crunchy. Okay? We're going to put a bunch of this bread into a bowl, and then we're going to add color. So I have these beautiful tomatoes here, some cucumbers, You can add anything that you have. So here, wasn't on the recipe, but I had some red onions, so I love this purple color, so I'm adding that in. And I also love garlic. Anytime I have tomatoes, I love to add some garlic. So I'm gonna add some garlic in there. And the last bit as I have here is I have just some basil, just some fresh basil. If you have dried, it's fine too. Put some basil in there. Now for our dressing, we're gonna take some olive oil. Again, healthy fat. We're gonna take a little balsamic. Then I'm gonna take a little of this salt. Now again, this is that pink Himalayan salt that we had talked about before. I'm gonna mix all of this up, and this bread is going to soak up this dressing, and it's going to be amazing. If you can have dairy, adding a little bit of maybe some mozzarella cheese in here, be fantastic. If you have some bell peppers, adding some orange in and some yellow in. You can also add in some avocado, get a little more fiber, a little more green in there. And you have this beautiful summer salad. If you have fruit, you have peaches, apples, pears, anything like that you want to throw in here as well. Adds more color, adds more fiber, excuse me, adds more antioxidants. Nice and easy salad. Kids are going to love this. Okay, so other ways to get color in: herbs, spices, anything that you can have on hand, frozen corn, canned beans. Black is a color, black beans, white is a color. All of these things have phytonutrients in them. So even if you have a little tiny space in a window, grow some herbs. Always have them on hand. Throw them into everything. It's always added an extra color. When you make snacks, you want to try and make sure that you have 2-3 colors in each snack. And on a meal, probably more like 3 to 5, 3 to 4, 3 to 5 in there. You know, let the kids count. Have them count. How many colors do I have? Oh, you only have 3. Go around and see what else we have. We can throw in there and add into a 4th. So thank you guys for joining me so much. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope healthy eating seems more attainable, doesn't seem so scary. Using simple substitutions, creativity, and always a willingness to try new things. You got this.